Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to make some traditional kimchi, gochugaru or 포기김치, whatever you want to call it. It's not the ones that you chop up, it's the whole Napa cabbage. Let's go ahead and make our salt brine. So I have about 40 cups of water in my large basin and 3.5 cups of sea salt. Go ahead and mix that up. I have 4 large Napa cabbages here. We're going to prep them to go into our salt brine. You're going to take your knife and just slit. After we slit it, you can just pull it apart. And you should find nice yellow leaves inside. And I'm going to put in the salt water we've made earlier. And continue with the rest. We're also going to grab an extra handful of the sea salt, and the areas here closest to the stem are a lot harder to salt, so we're going to take some sea salt and generously add it just to the root area. Making the traditional Korean 포기김치, the whole Napa cabbage kind, is not easy work. So if it's your first time, you can try making half of the portions and see how it turns out. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it. I think the hardest part is the salting. Getting it perfectly salty enough for it to ferment correctly, but not making it overly salty is the key. And I think that just comes with practice and continuously making kimchi. I've always had homemade kimchi growing up, so for me, I want to keep that tradition alive. And it just tastes so much better. Flip them around a few times throughout the process so that they are all getting evenly salted in the brine. We're going to now leave this for about 8 hours. You can leave it overnight as well. I'm going to put a heavy basin on top of it so it weighs down the cabbages and is nicely submerged in the brine. So we're going to make our 찹쌀. I have a small saucepan with 2.5 cups of water. I'm going to add in about 1/3 cup of the glutinous rice flour, and we're gonna cook it on medium-low until it becomes a nice thick consistency. Continuously stir so that you don't have any burning on the bottom. We're gonna cook a few more minutes and then take it off the hot heat and let it cool completely before we mix it into our sauce. We have some hot red peppers, about 4 of them, and then also a Korean pear. We're going to blend the Korean pear after we peel it. And also we're going to blend some of the red peppers with a little bit of water. And this is optional. I like my kimchi really spicy, so I use a lot of gochugaru, the red pepper flakes, and also some fresh peppers. But if you don't want it spicy, you can leave this part out. I have about 5 cups of the red pepper flakes already in my bowl. Blended pear, also the blended red peppers. That we made earlier, fully cooled. Some fish sauce. 1/3 cup of garlic. And a few more tablespoons. Also some cane sugar. We're gonna give that a nice little mix first. Now remember, we're going to add in some green onions as well as radish. The radish will produce a lot more liquid. We're going to add a touch of water or broth. Now let's leave this to the side, and we're going to julienne our radish and cut our green onion. I have about 2 pounds worth of mu, the Korean radish, and we're going to go ahead and julienne it. About 5 to 6 stalks of green onions that I've cut at an angle, and give all of that a nice mix. The radishes will produce a lot of water, so we're gonna let the sauce sit for a little bit before we make our kimchi. Alright, so I have actually soaked my Napa cabbages overnight, and like I mentioned before, It's very important, and the hardest part is the salting, because you want to salt it just enough but not too much. Drain all the salt water and then rinse all the excess salt off to make sure we don't have too much salt left on these. Going to give it a nice rinse. These little stragglers here, I like to leave them and make some gochugaru out of it. Gochugaru is kimchi that you can eat right away. I just add a little bit more sugar and fish sauce and sesame seeds in my sauce to make the gochugaru. Just squeeze all the liquid out as much as I can. I am just letting my pechu's rest and drain on a little rack over my sink so that I can get any excess water off. And then we will begin to make our kimchi soon. Have your glass jars ready. Now we're finally here, the fun part. Put on some pair of long gloves, rubber gloves, or these plastic gloves like I have. I found these long ones, and let's get started. I've already put my sauce in the same bowl. What we're going to do is lift the leaves and put some sauce in between each of the leaves. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just want to make sure that they get a nice even coat. The part I loved the most as a kid was standing next to the kimchi bowl when my mom was making it, and would just steal a little bit here and there. It always tastes so much better right out of the bowl. Hi, Oma. My mom has 3 daughters, but I can assure you that I'm probably the only one out of the 3 that will make kimchi, ever. Now let's place them into our jars. Going to press them in so they're nice and tight, but leave a little room because there will be juices that will ferment and come up to the top. You don't want it to overflow, so I like to leave a little bit of space on top still. I have here our delicious homemade kimchi. I'm going to cover and put the lids on and leave out for a couple days before I place them in the refrigerator. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.